Good morning. It is Monday, April 27th. We are 90 days out from July 26th. Your DTD2. This week, you're calling your H's and your V's, and you are texting your J's. It is a Monday, and we're in the midst of Breakthrough 120. Breakthrough 120, a brand new program that we have that runs 5 Mondays in a row. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll be back in the end of May, I suppose. I'm making up dates right now, but we're going to run it on Mondays. There's 5 classes, so you'll see us running through. We're on the 3rd Monday. Today we're doing appointments. We've done database, we've done follow-up, we're doing appointments, then we're going to do open houses, then we're going to do social media. So we are on appointments this week. We're going to focus on the listing appointment. There is information on the buyer appointment. They are remarkably similar, except for the fact that you're not spending any time in that person's house. Although you are going to have appointments where you sit with the seller and they become a seller and a buyer for you. But we're going to focus on, there's a lot of meat on the bone today at 9 o'clock in Breakthrough 120. So we're going to focus on the seller side. You do have information in the packet, in the workbook for the buyer side too. And we can dot those I's and cross those T's. So that is coming up at 9 o'clock. So there was some confusion in the last couple of weeks of, and I'm going to be as polite as possible. There was some confusion on how do I get to the class or how do I get to the lead gen. So we have made it very clear in the morning news that Breakthrough Club is the lead gen and Breakthrough 120 is the class. So you're going to one Zoom room or the other. If you're here in Portsmouth for the class, problem solved. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the rest of the week, students who were in Breakthrough 120 this morning in person or on the Zooms, because it's a hybrid class, can then jump into Breakthrough Club. That's the challenge. With every class that we do, the biggest challenge is, what are you taking away? What are you implementing? You know, what are you gonna build into your business, right? Because every time we hit an achievement ceiling, there's probably a missing piece. It could be a tool, a system, or a relationship. And if you're missing a tool or a system or a relationship, let's explore what we need so you can move forward. So today, Breakthrough 120, and the crux of this entire course, these 5 rolling classes that we're going to keep delivering on Mondays, it is the combination of learning from the class, implementing from the class, and then, of course, doing the work, which is the lead generation. The question that Gary is asking is, would you like 9 more pieces of business? This could be for anybody. The classroom in Portsmouth has been, honestly, veteran heavy, and the Zoom room has been veteran heavy, which I love. Although if you are just landing, this is your freshman year, and you're looking for one more layer of accountability, a little bit more information, maybe some things that you could put into practice, I would argue this class is for you. This is going to continue on Mondays. We will have breaks. So you're going to see 5 Mondays in a row, then a little break, and then 5 Mondays in a row. What's never going to stop, this is your favorite part, what's never going to stop is the Breakthrough Club is always going to be available for you Monday through Friday. And that's 9 to noon. And that doesn't mean you need to be in there 9 to noon. I think we catastrophize like, oh my God, I can't be there for the whole thing, so I'm not going to go. Don't do that. Don't be them. If you can be in lead generation for an hour a day, especially if your normal time slot is 0 hours a day, let's start with an hour, right? We tend to think, well, I can't go for the whole thing, so I'm not going to go for any of it. And if you were a student taking your licensing course, you remember Ann Flanagan got to the point where she just had it like, just jump in anywhere and you're sort of finished. Like if you're at a charity golf course or a charity golf tournament, they start you on hole 13. Your group starts on 13. Then you're going to go all the way past 18, back to 1, and all the way, and then you finish on 12. This will be the same thing. So if you did miss session 1 and session 2, which was database, and last week was follow-up, feel free to jump in for this session. And then you can get caught up when we relaunch a little bit later on. So we're on session 3, session 4, open houses next Monday, session 5, which will be, excuse me, I've got to get better cigars. Session 5, which will be social media, is the week after that. And that's how this breaks out. They are 3-hour classes. You're getting 3 points toward your, obviously toward your honor program. So if you're involved in this class, we would love to see you here in Portsmouth. If you can't make it to Portsmouth, You simply click on the link that's in the morning news, Breakthrough 120 appointments. You can see the Zoom link. Click on that. You can join us for class, and we will have students in the room mic'd up. And then if you're at home, you can ask questions just like we always do when we do a hybrid class. And yes, they're being recorded. I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know that anybody's like, you know what? I'm going to grab a box of wine and I'm going to watch 180 minutes of Timmy teaching this class. I'm going to strongly recommend that you do your best to show up. If you miss some of it, sure, go back and watch the parts that you missed. I get that. But I wouldn't leave this to you'll watch it later. We've all read that book. We know how it ends. So join us for the class. That's today at 9 o'clock. Breakthrough 120. Appointments today, 9 to noon, Zoom or Portsmouth. The Breakthrough Club, if you're doing lead gen today, the link for that is right there, and that is KWBreakthroughClub.com to be in that room. At 12 o'clock, this is how this goes on Mondays. Then at 12 o'clock, what we're going to do is we are all going to leave the classroom and join Breakthrough Club, and we're going to have the conversation. The midday protocol conversation takes place right in the Breakthrough Club room at 12 o'clock. You'll notice if you've been there as of late, usually around 2 or 3 minutes before the hour, I'll play a little bit of music to remind everybody we're getting ready to have our conversation. Then we have our conversation. And it's this simple. I'm going to ask 3 questions. I'm going to ask you about your conversations or interactions. I'm going to ask you about your appointment set, and I'm going to ask you about your agreement signed. Those are our lead indicators. That's how we know how we're doing on our path to our goals. Our biggest challenge is we can have goals and we can do things, but like, are they meeting the expectations? Are we in relationship with our goals? And are we doing the money-making activities? And the reason we have the conversation every day at noon is because most people, not all, but most people do their lead gen in the morning, go on appointments in the afternoon. So you'd say to yourself, well, I don't have any appointments in the afternoon after the midday protocol. I would get back to work. Should you see fit? It's your business. You could also go out and, the weather's getting nice. You can go do whatever you want in the afternoon. And it's not that you have to do lead gen in the morning. We just know based on the one thing, willpower is not on will call. If we tell ourselves, I'll do it later, suddenly it becomes later. And do you have the gas to do it? My job as your coach is, God willing, to send you back to the loved ones at your home with a little bit of air in your lungs, a little bit of air in your sails, a little bit of light in your eyes. So when you go home to the people that you left in the morning to go build this life for your family, you're not just physically present when you get there, you're emotionally present. You're listening. You're there for them. For the same reason that we came into this industry, invariably, you probably came this way, just guessing. You probably came this way to make more money, control your income, and control your calendar. And those 2 streams are what's most important. I mean, first and foremost, I would say if you've got young kids, they want your time. Then they hit a certain age. They definitely, they want you to come home and they want you to bring some money. One of our best agents will be talking to me, and he'll get a little ping on his phone, and invariably it is his daughter asking for, can you load the green card, Dad? It's comical, and we've all been there, right? So, and not that she doesn't enjoy his time, but she definitely enjoys his money. But we're driving away from our families for one reason. We're driving away from our homes for one reason. We're doing it for profitability. Yes, we're doing it with full hearts. Yes, we're doing it because we're passionate about what we do, but there's not a single person in this company that doesn't want to be profitable. So that's the direction in which we're headed. That's why we want to marry our strategy to our actions. And that's what the midday protocol is going to measure. That conversation's today at 12 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, Culture Committee having that Red Day meeting. The link for that is in the morning news. At 1:30, Ask the Broker with the Jason Westcott every Monday, 1:30 on kellertv.com. Click the link in the morning news to join him for that. Questions about anything, right? You got access to Jason, obviously, Wednesdays with contracts. But then you have, Mondays, Ask the Broker, stuff that came up over the weekend. Or you can just sit in there and just listen to him answer questions if he's got people in there. But if not, you get access to Jason at 1:30 on Mondays. Ask the Broker. That's today at 1:30. Tech your business to the next level. Maggie McDowell, our regional tech trainer, with great conversations. The link to register for that conversation is in the morning news. That's 2:30 today. And then at 3 o'clock, 25 and 26 with the Tiffany Hampton. That is her program to help you understand all of the things at KW, moving them all into one place. She's got a great playbook for you. You can register for that. And that is at 3 o'clock, 25 and 26 with the Tiffany Hampton. There is your schedule of events for today. I know you can look at every day of the week at this company and say there's a lot of stuff there. And am I missing things? Should I be in this? Understanding where you want to be and understanding where you currently are, right? So your projections versus your actualities. Like I want to be, my intention is to be here. This is where I am. What do we measure that against? Do we measure it against our activity? And are we also going to insert some reality? Like, well, no, I'm doing all that. I'm doing lead gen. Well, define that. What does that look like? And I know people are like tired of hearing the lead gen word or the lead gen words or the lead gen, the hyphenated lead gen. That's the job of what we do. It looks different for everybody, for sure. I completely get that. What does it look like for you? What are you doing? And this comes up in Business Planning Clinic. This came up in week 1 when we talked about database. There's a core 4. You could argue it's a core 3. If you track where your appointments come from on a regular basis, you could figure out what really works for you. Look at your deals that you've closed in your history, or look at the appointments that you've set in your history, or look at the conversations that have been most fruitful that you've had, whether you're a veteran or you just landed. Based on whatever successful metrics you have, what activity were you doing to get to that point? What environment were you in? And this is why we always talk about 90 days out. This is why we said today we're 90 days out from July 26th, because we want to know, hey, am I doing the right things today, the money-making activities today to put me in a position to be at a closing table on July 26th? Conversely, if you're having a great week, if this is going to be a blockbuster week for your business, you've got a couple of offers out, you've got 2 closings at the end of the week, you could ask yourself, hey, this has been a pretty good couple of weeks. What was your face doing 90 days ago? That's why keeping a calendar, tracking your activities is so important. So you can go back. The saying that, history, you're doomed to repeat your history if you don't change what you're doing. So maybe you want to repeat your history. Maybe you want the same things to keep happening. Can you look at the recipe of 90 days ago and see how that got you here? You were probably feeling great. You were probably resting. You're probably surrounded by good people. You may have been challenging yourself a little bit more than usual. Maybe you did some things that made you uncomfortable insofar as put you out of your comfort zone and into your genius zone, which sometimes we don't always want to play in. Because we go into these environments where we're successful and maybe others aren't. That can be lonely sometimes. We talk quite often about the definition of a goal, and we've talked about it endlessly here, right? You could look it up on Merriam-Webster. It's Merriam, right? I always say Merriam. I'm stuck on the female name. It's Merriam-Webster. My apologies. They're not a sponsor. I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, it is the direction in which energy is directed toward a certain outcome. Or a point in an athletic event, right? You'll see probably 2 or 3 definitions under goal in the dictionary. More importantly, we talk about this quite a bit, and it's so true. Never mind what the definition of a goal is. What is the purpose of a goal? And at KW, our thought process is the purpose of a goal is to remain appropriate in the moment. Having a goal that you're working towards helps you remain appropriate in the moment. Because you can have a someday goal 20 years out, but if you keep chunking it down, 10-year goal, 5-year goal, 3-year goal, 1-year goal, quarterly goal, monthly goal, weekly goal, daily goal, today, what do you need to do this morning? Win the morning, win the day. What do I need to do before 11:59 a.m. to know that I put myself in a position to help others? The reason I joined this company, the reason I joined real estate was to help others. Yes, it was to control my income. Yes, it was to control my calendar. But at the heart of it, and if you've been doing this long enough, you know there's a lot of work involved. And you either know what you need to do or what you could do in the flick of a switch, because some of us have figured out where our genius zone is. We know exactly what 3 things we can do. We probably know the sharpest arrow in our quiver. And all we need to do is that. Not for 38 hours today, but just every day. A little bit. And I'll say a little bit. If you're getting started, a little bit might feel like an hour today. If you're a wily veteran, maybe you're doing 2 or 3 hours. That's why the Morning Breakthrough and Breakthrough Club is 3 hours. Jump into that 3-hour window and make sure you're having enough conversations, you're talking to enough people to find the people that you need to help. Head down, heart up. Service first, sales second. Who do you know that I should know? I consistently have conversations with lots of agents. And some will come in and be like, what are you hearing out there? Is it weird out there for everybody? Or, hey, and that's only coming from the person who's probably feeling a struggle. Agents who are feeling success, moving forward, sometimes will ask what else they could be doing. And the question is almost an opportunity to be told it's okay to be where they are. And I have no judgment for where you are in your business. I understand what your goals are. You've shared those with me. And if you're truthful with me, I understand where you're at in relationship to those goals. And the gap can usually be connected to the execution or the avoidance of the activities. So if you need a little something today, if that's lead gen time, if that is jumping into Breakthrough 120, that comes up at 9 o'clock. The rest of the schedule is there for you as well. The entire staff is here for you. There's a market center of agents that are here for you. If you've got a question, I promise you we have the answer, or we know the person who does have the answer, right? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and really into your genius zone where you know you could create havoc? You could disrupt the marketplace. You could disrupt your comfort. We talk about being disruptors. It's to disrupt ourselves, to get ourselves shaken up, to put ourselves in a position to be most effective. If you truly feel you have a gift to offer, not standing up, not stepping out, not sharing it could be the greatest crime. And whomever you connect with today, I promise they're going to be thrilled that they heard from you. That is the extraordinary thing that we do in this business today, is actually talk to people, not text, not email, not like a comment. All that can be effective. The greatest connection that you can have with somebody is voice to voice, no matter how that takes place. All of you say it to me every time. Yeah, Timmy, I don't love the phone. I'm better off face to face. Cool. And face to face, part of that is your voice, your passion, your tonality, your intellect coming through, care-filled, to help them or somebody they know move forward. We'll see you in Breakthrough 120. We'll see you for the midday protocol at 12 o'clock. If I can help, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. Have a fantastic day.